The story of my family is one of triumph and sacrifice. How we led a revolution against tyranny. And now it falls on my shoulders to save my world.
Someone from the future is coming to destroy Krypton. Because where I'm from, your grandson becomes the greatest hero of the universe.
The story of my family isn't about how we died. It's about how we lived.
Where are we going? What is the plot on Krypton?
It's a show that's set 200 years before the birth of Superman. There's a conspiracy that starts here on Earth in present day, and it involves a kind of like, almost in a Terminator-like way, a time travel back into Krypton's past, into Krypton 200 years ago, to prevent the birth of Superman is what's at the heart of this conspiracy. So the stakes of the show are very much about the present day. It's about the here and now. It's not so much a show about these things that happened in the past, and everything you kind of think you know about Krypton and the way that story ends is going to be challenged by the way we approach this story.
So we'll be seeing classic characters from the Superman mythos.
Well, that's a big part of playing against the expectations, because I mean, this is the most beloved superhero of all time. Anytime you have anything to say about who he is, who he was, who he will be, what happened to him before, everybody's got an opinion. We take that very seriously, and we also want to challenge people and say, you don't know how this story actually ends. In lore, this happened, but as we know from JJ's Trek and other things, one massive event can upend everything we know and set our heroes on a very fresh and new and relevant course. And also, there will be heroes and villains from the DC universe you would not expect to show up on Krypton in our show, and that is a very exciting part of the world building.
Hey everybody, we got a whole bunch of Superman Krypton prequel to break down. That was probably the best trailer so far, way better than the trailers they've dropped before this. There's a new round of the Legion Ring giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a Superman-related comment on the video. They just did their big TCAs panel, so Jeff Johns and the showrunners explained what's going on with the characters, how they're going to handle time travel, and which really big Justice League level characters are going to show up on the series. Like, they actually said the Green Lanterns will be involved in the series in some capacity eventually. So if there was any question, they have pretty free reign. Like, they'll eventually be a version of Superman on the TV show too, although primarily it will be set in the past. The person handing him Superman's cape and the Detroit Tigers cap, who's trying to warn him about what's coming, someone from the future is coming to erase Superman's timeline so that he won't become the greatest hero that the universe has ever known, is the Adam Strange character. Now, because he's not wearing his armor, we don't know if he's become the Adam Strange character from the comics yet, or if they're going to do that during the series. Like, is he going to stick around in the past? They didn't reveal that, but they did tease that they would visit other planets besides Krypton. So because they mentioned they'd be doing Green Lantern stuff eventually, they'd be doing Hawkgirl stuff, I think they might do a little bit of Rann-Thanagar War, because there are just like a lot of big space-based races that are familiar to people. Rann-Thanagar is just a really easy go-to if you're going to be doing Adam Strange and Hawkgirl stuff eventually. Now, they didn't say which episodes all these people would be popping up in, but there are 10 episodes total. And like you see, the premiere date is March 21st. That's a Wednesday. It's going to be a Wednesday night show. Because there's only 10 episodes, I'm assuming that they'll air all 10 without a break. You probably noticed that as Adam Strange was telling him about the mysterious threat from the future, that this tentacle-looking ship was flying through outer space, that looks like it could be Brainiac's skull ship. So, because there's another version of Brainiac that we know is going to be on the show played by this character, what might end up happening is we'll just see multiple different versions of Brainiac, and it's just this ultimate future version of Brainiac, and the previous versions of Brainiac just complicate the matter. So like every version of Brainiac looks a little bit different, so I don't know what the final makeup is going to look like on this actor, like if he's going to walk around looking human-like, or if it'll be like Brainiac 5, who's on Supergirl right now. But like I've said in all the other trailer videos, you can see a lot of the backgrounds, the ships, the clothing that they wear is inspired by the Man of Steel Justice League movie. Some of you also spotted Barristan Selmy from Game of Thrones wearing very Superman-looking attire, like he even has a blue costume with a red cape with an S on it. So a lot of people are like, wait a minute, which version of Superman is this? This is actually meant to be Seg-El, who's Superman's grandfather's grandfather. So Superman's grandfather's grandfather is supposed to be the person that starts thinking about the Phantom Zone. And even though Jor-El is supposed to be the person that truly discovers and exploits the Phantom Zone, it sounds like that will start on this TV show. Like they'll learn of its existence, but based on the pitch for Barristan Selmy here, it sounds like they either put him in prison, brand him as a heretic, or they just don't believe him. So Jeff Johns, the producers, said that they would be taking advantage of this pocket of the DC universe and that you know a lot about Krypton, but you don't know a lot about its history, so they can do as much stuff as they want. That's why it's a lot easier for them to do characters like Superman, a comic book accurate version of Doomsday. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like or how that comes about, because there's so many characters that we haven't met yet. We really only met the main cast. Like this actress here is Alita Zod, so you can see she's about the same age as Seg-El. It sounds like they'll have some sort of friendship, but she's Zod's grandmother. So we'll see how much of the Game of Thrones, Dune, big politicking they work into this. For the most part, they've explained that the House of El at the beginning of the series is in disgrace, probably because of whatever it is that Val-El does that has something to do with the Phantom Zone. Remember the Krypton history explainer that Jor-El gave during the Man of Steel movie? It actually sounds like it's going to still be canon to the series.
For 100,000 years, our civilization flourished, accomplishing wonders.
What happened?
Artificial population control was established. The outposts and space exploration were abandoned. We exhausted our natural resources. As a result, our planet's core became unstable.
So he says they used to be a spacefaring race, but eventually they became more isolated, more xenophobic. Their cultural beliefs changed in a big way. It sounds like they abandoned science. Most of that we get through the Jor-El character, through the Superman mythos. So when he's using the control crystal to activate the Fortress of Solitude, it sounds like he's never been there before and it's been dormant for a long, long time. The same way Superman during Man of Steel uses the control crystal to activate the scout ship, and it's just been sitting there in the ice for centuries. But you can kind of see the parallels that they're drawing with Seg-El at this polar location on Krypton, discovering their family's Fortress of Solitude, like Superman goes to the Arctic to recreate the Fortress of Solitude on Earth. So it'll be fun to see what is inside this fortress and what we learn about the history of their family. The version of Seg-El that we know in the comics is a much, much older version of the character. This character will be much closer to the age Superman was right before he put the cape on. So like you see him put his version of the cape on like Superman puts his version on. I'm sure you have a bunch of questions. Just leave them in the comments below. They're going to be dropping a bunch more trailers and they'll be doing interviews and stuff like that before the series premieres, so we'll learn more about it. But remember, it's only 10 episodes. For the most part, Sci-Fi tends to do 10-episode series, but if it's popular enough, maybe they'll give it more episodes for season 2. Runaways also just aired their finale tonight. A lot of you have asked for an Easter egg video. I'll try to get that up as fast as possible, but they've already been renewed for season 2. For the most part, most Marvel shows, DC shows, will be renewed for next season. Very few exceptions, and we'll find out about that in the next couple of weeks. So when we know for sure when everything is renewed or canceled, I'll do an update video. Congratulations to the latest giveaway winner, Dan Lib Peacock. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. There was a new round on this video. I'll announce the winner when I post new DC. I do have some new Titans to post really soon too. But click here for brand new Deadpool and click here for brand new Flash. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.